Hello and welcome to the Bergcast. I'm your host, Brett Reed, and on this podcast series, we interview Heidelberg athletes, students, and basically give you guys an insight on what it's like to be here at Heidelberg and be on a team. Today I have Drew again. We tried this in the summertime. It was audio only, but unfortunately it got messed up, and we thought it'd be better if we just do it in person. Anyway, I'll give Drew a little introduction here. In high school, Drew achieved Division I second team All-State. He was a school leader in career passing yards and touchdowns. Here at Heidelberg, Drew was Week 2 OAC Offensive Player of the Week, honorable mention All-Conference, and has Heidelberg's most touchdown passes in a game by a freshman. Last year, you led the Student Princes to a 4-1 record, and this year, only 2 games in, you have thrown for 605 yards, beating Adrian and Capital. Drew, welcome back to the show.
Appreciate you having me.
No problem. And I went to both the games this year. Well, I didn't go to the Adrian one. We watched it as a cross-country team, and then we went to the Capital game. It was very fun watching you guys destroy them as per usual. And I had Drew on in the summer. Didn't go as well, but glad to have him back. So let's just get it started. Where are you from?
I'm from Perrysburg, Ohio. It's about 10 minutes south of Toledo, so I'm from the Northwest Ohio area.
So in Perrysburg, would you say it's more of city or is it like Tiffin?
It's more like suburb than Tiffin. It's a suburb outside of Toledo.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot of Perrysburg's pretty generally rich community. So it's just a lot of generally big houses and stuff like that. So it's a nice community.
So what do you guys do there for fun?
My friends and I, we hang out and bike around.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Now that we're older, we can drive and stuff. But yeah, we all just kind of hang out. There's really not much to do, attraction wise. But I mean, Toledo's 10 minutes north of us.
Exactly.
BG's 10 minutes south. So
not too bad.
Nah.
So with that, what was your high school like? Where did you go to high school?
I did go to Perrysburg. That's the only high school in Perrysburg. That's why it's a big Division I school. But it was nice. It's just weird, football fields at the junior high and stuff, so it was weird driving back and forth. But it's a great high school. My dad went there. He graduated in '84. My younger sister went there. My dad coaches there. So we're pretty big Perrysburg people in the community and stuff.
So how many people were in your class size alone, and then how many do you think were in the school total?
I want to say there was about 450 in my class. And
that's
then probably around 2,000-ish in the school.
Wow, that's crazy.
And they're just getting bigger. I think the 7th grade class now has almost 600 or something.
That's crazy.
Perrysburg's growing.
Yeah. So you're from a D1 school.
Yep.
So what, besides Perrysburg, I mean, like in that area, what other high schools can you go to?
A lot of kids go to parochial high school.
Okay.
So they'll go to Toledo St. John's Jesuit.
Right.
Or St. Francis or Central Catholic.
So do you guys play a lot? So do you guys play like Toledo Rogers and like are they D2, D1?
Yeah, Rogers and all the city league schools for the most part, except starter D2.
Okay.
But the city league's definitely taken a drop in the last 10 years, so we don't really play that. We do in like basketball and stuff, but in football we don't really play those schools anymore. Some smaller schools in our league, like the Sylvanias and stuff, will play them.
Yeah, okay.
They'll play some of this TPS schools, but other than that, we don't really play them all that much.
We have a kid from Sylvania on our team, so he always talks about it. So you're from Perrysburg, from a big D1 school. What got you interested in football? I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of people that play football over there. How'd you get into it?
My dad has coached football at Perrysburg for 32 years now.
Okay.
So he's been on the staff, and so I live only about 2 minutes from the junior high. So as soon as I learned how to ride a bike, I'd go home, do my homework, and then I'd bike to football practice every day because I had access to it.
Right.
Because my dad. And so I just grew up at every practice, every game. I was the water boy when I was 5, the ball boy when I was old enough to do that. And so when I got to Heidelberg, the first game Perrysburg played, our freshman year, we couldn't get to go, was the first year I hadn't been on the sideline for a Perrysburg game since I was 5.
Wow.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
So you, with your dad obviously being the main influence for your football, life, was there any other things that helped, that football lifestyle? Or do you think it was just mainly your dad? Do you think watching football maybe helped? Or?
Yeah, and I mean, when my dad and I are at home, we're watching SportsCenter, football, basketball. I mean, we're not I mean, we have our little TV shows we watch,
right.
But for the most part at night we're flipping on the Detroit Tigers in the spring and football in the fall, and we're watching basketball in the winter. And obviously he's actually the head girls basketball coach at Perrysburg too. So Fridays in the fall, we're going to Perrysburg games, and then we're watching Ohio State on Saturday in the winter. We got my games, his games, my sister. So it's sports world. It's never ending.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Exactly. It's always good to be growing up in a sports family. I know exactly what that's like. Me and you know what it's like to watch Vikings games in the fall and be.
Sadly.
Yeah, sadly, we are both Vikings fans. And it is, it's fun having a nice lifestyle where you're constantly in a sports setting. I think it like grows you well. So,
Yep.
All right. So you have the D1 program. You're from Toledo area. Why Heidelberg? I can almost envision that this is my guess. Is it because it's close, or is there any other reasons?
To a certain point, I came here on my visit. It is close. It's only an hour, but I didn't want to go to BG or UT or anything. I wanted to do my own thing, but be close, or on a weekend I could go home if I wanted to. And
right.
An hour I thought was a good slot for that, but I knew I wanted to play football in college. And I ended up tearing my ACL my junior year of high school, so I only played like a game. And so I really wasn't recruited out of high school at all. I was only recruited by about 2 or 3 schools that are in this league, and took visits there, and then ended up here at Heidelberg. I loved Coach D. I loved the visit, and Coach Lewis was the one that recruited me and got me here. And then I came for an overnight, and then pretty much after my overnight and stuff, I pretty much knew that I wanted to go here.
Yeah.
It was better than the 2 other schools that were interested in me.
That's usually that's how I feel like it went for me as well. I came for the overnight, and you're like, wow, that I want to be here. So, while we're talking about Heidelberg, what's your major and what?
I am an AYA history education major.
Awesome.
And I minor in coaching.
Awesome. So, what made you lean towards that major?
Coaching.
Okay.
Being a teacher is the easiest way to get into coaching.
Right.
Obviously, at the high school level. So, I thought about doing sport management when I was kind of growing up and stuff, just being around the sports world so much. And then the older I got, obviously the more I want to coach, and just like my father and my mother coaches too. But education major is the easiest way to get roped into that. And I like history, so
football lifestyle.
Yep.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. All right, and now we're on our first segment. We're gonna play Guess Who. I took your team. Is deep. You guys have a deep squad, a deep roster, so it's really hard. I don't know who you know. I know you have to know everybody. I mean, if you don't know everybody, I mean the freshmen. I mean, I don't know how many you know like close to heart, but I tried to make this as easy but as hard as possible.
Sounds good.
So I have 3 of your teammates on here, and we're gonna see if you can guess who they are. I don't know if this is gonna be hard. It could be easy. We're about to find out. So your first one is here we go.
That's Meech.
Yes, I try to also make this easy to hard. If you get all 3 of them easily, I mean, good. Yes, that is Meech. All right, here's the next one.
Dodges.
Is that your final guess?
Yeah.
Okay. That is
Bridger
Klein.
Dang. I saw the goatee, like the red goatee.
See, and the thing is,
red goatee.
You guys took these. I'm assuming
Bridger's gonna get mad at me for that one.
I'm assuming you guys took these, close to when we started school.
Yeah.
So, people could be shaved. People could be, people could have different hairstyles. I think Meech still wears his hair like that. Yeah. If I'm not.
That's funny you say that. Freshman year, we were here in COVID, so we took picture day. I didn't know it was picture day, so the day before picture day, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna shave my beard, just clean face it. And the next day, Coach D's like picture day. I was like, oh. So
man.
I showed up to picture day. I got like big fat neck, no beard. I look like I'm 12 years old. And then football happened, and I ended up being lucky enough to play and played against Capital and won that Player of the Week stuff. So that picture is just everywhere. And I'm getting all the coaches are like, "What are you doing?"
You're like, I didn't know. They didn't warn you in advance?
No. It was like the day of. I was like, oh boy.
All right, and this is your last one. You take your time, analyze it a little bit. I try to go from easy to hard.
Can I get a position? You have no idea.
I do know the position.
Is that my hint?
I'm trying to give you I'll try to give you a hint that's not so easy. Because I feel like if I give the position, I'll give it away. I can say he starts. I don't know if that
starts.
Yes, that is a better I think example other than the position, because I feel like if I give you a position it'd be
easy.
He does start.
This one's a tough one.
I'm trying to think of any more hints I can give without trying to give it away. Okay.
Offense or defense?
Offense.
Offensive starter. Oh, it's B. Reed.
It is. It is Brandon Reed.
That's a good one.
Yes.
That was a good one.
The thing with Brandon is because I know Brandon, obviously because he's B. Reed 1, I'm B. Reed 2. So me and Brandon are kind of close. The thing that's hard with Brandon is because if I would have told you he was wide receiver, I feel like that would have been almost easy.
Yes, I would have gotten it right.
And it was
away.
hard to just kind of take a part of Brandon
The
that
problem
was...
is, everyone on our team's got that little scruff beard. Like they can't fully grow it in.
And I didn't know,
and they try to.
The original picture I had his chain in it. And I was like, okay, I don't know if that gives it away. I don't know if people wear chains.
Yeah.
Like, Meech wears a chain, but obviously Meech has different hair. So, I mean, it's at that point, it's just hard. All right. So we're going to do one more question, and then we're going to move on to the next segment. So what would you say was your biggest transition from high school to college? Academic-wise, just, living here, and then sports-wise.
Academically was probably not having my mom on my butt 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, she's a teacher. She's a high school math teacher. So, in high school, every night I'm sitting there doing homework, and she's kind of just peeking by, not trying to stay out of the way, but whatever. And she's always checking grades and stuff. But in college, she could still check my grades and stuff. But at some point, you gotta let your kids grow up and stuff like that. And she still calls me all the time, "How are your grades?" And I tell her. But definitely just transitioning from being on your own. I guess a lot of the answers are probably like that. Same with socially, you're living on your own now.
Exactly.
Yeah, your mom's not here to cook dinner and be there. And freshman year, I didn't have a car, so I can't just run over to the Walgreens and pick up a toothbrush or stuff like that. So definitely just getting acclimated to living on your own and not taking too much freedom.
Exactly.
Some kids get to college and they're like,
I
can do whatever I want. Exactly. And then next thing you know, your 4-week appraisals come out and you got 6 M's for missing class and stuff like that, and you're doing stuff you shouldn't do on a Tuesday night, and it's like, oh, maybe I need to hold the reins a little bit. So getting acclimated to that. And then sports-wise, it's just in high school, you grow up playing with the same kids since you were pretty much 5 years old, and you get transfers and stuff like that. But you grow up playing with the same kids, and you pretty much know from 7th grade, and obviously kids get better, but who the pretty good athletes are, and kids who work hard and stuff like that. Well, you get to a college, I don't care if it's D1, D3, JUCO, every kid here is all district, all state.
Exactly.
They're great players. Only 7% of athletes play college sports. So you have to figure out what your niche is and how you can separate yourself from all these guys that are all district, all state, stuff like that.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's the biggest. I like that, what you said about, that's kind of original. A lot of people said time management. That's also time management. But yeah, being on your own is a big thing in college, especially when you don't have your parents there. You have to do everything yourself. And then sports-wise, I like that. You have to find your own, you have to find what makes you good. Obviously, you play football, I run cross country. It's a little bit, cross country programs, like football, they're a little bit easier. When you go D3, you're kind of just, never mind. We get our OAC is it's the hardest D3 conference we have in track. So I completely understand that, and it's just, you're with the best. And that's awesome. So that's a great answer. Moving on, you sent me these pictures last year. So these are from Drew's freshman year. Obviously, you probably have better pictures now, more pictures, which we probably could have updated them. But that's all right because we still have these ones. I pulled these from the ones you sent me. We're going to go through them, and then you can kind of explain, what the game was. You're not going to remember every play, but you might remember the pictures. So
I'll remember every play.
We'll go through the first one. Here we go. Looks like you guys are walking out.
Yeah, that's running out against Ohio Northern. First time we actually wore these black uniforms, brand new. I like this picture because we were 3-0. Ohio Northern was 3-0. It's the Bendel Bowl, big rivalry. He played left guard last year, but now he's our starting left tackle. Wally's right behind me, one of the protectors. You can actually see my roommate last year in the background, TJ. So obviously this is just new uniforms. It was all games were on Friday nights, but it was a night game at home. Winner got to go play Mount, so it was
a big game.
Throw it on the table and see what you got. So it was a big game, and we ended up coming out on top.
Okay, so we had a little bit of a visual error. The camera just died on me, and I probably should have charged it, but I didn't think about it. But good thing we're moving on to the next picture. So we had the first picture. Second picture. What is this one? What game is this?
This one is at Otterbein. First game after our teammate Curtis had passed away. So really emotional game, and we were struggling about this time. It's the second quarter right here, and we were supposed to beat these guys by a pretty good number. We were pretty confident going into the game, and emotions were running high, and we found ourselves down 7-3 with about 3 minutes to go in the second half. And the problem was, we were moving the ball, we'd get in the red zone and stall out. So that's why I was telling guys on the sideline that we're kicking their butt. Just start finishing drives. About 2 minutes to go in the second half, hit Maceo on the right side, not this play, but for a touchdown, we would go up 10-7. And they ended up winning 44-14, so it ended up being all right.
Yeah.
Obviously, another rivalry game, Rhine River Cup. I actually played for a trophy in this one. So, yeah, this is a pretty cool game for everyone. Everyone was a little emotional after the game, as they should be, and stuff like that.
Exactly. And then I know we were all proud of you guys here because, it was hard for the whole campus, especially for your guys' football team. Mm-hmm. And so it was awesome seeing you guys pick up this win. Yep. I just remember this game because we watch all these games online.
Yeah.
I didn't miss a game. I don't ever miss a Heidelberg football game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just impossible to. I love them, but yeah, I remember we watched that and it was just awesome seeing you guys pick up the dub. So
yep,
there's that. And then the last picture. Here we go.
This is back to the Ohio Northern game. This would have been earlier in the game too. We were firing on all cylinders to start. We ended up going up 21-7 and had them. We go up 21-7 early and had them in a fourth and 18 on defense, and their quarterback ended up making a nice play. And then it was almost, we were going to have the ball in the 30 going in, up 2 scores to go up 28-7, and we didn't. And then we found ourselves in a dogfight, and then the last drive of the game, tied at 35, Tay ended up running the ball like 10 straight times, and then Jace ended up scoring. Kind of picked me up and didn't play very well in the second half, but it was a good game, and that was one of the most fun nights after the game because we knew we were getting the chance to go play Mount, and we had won our side of the division for the weird spring season and stuff, and it's always good to beat Ohio Northern.
Awesome. And that will be it for that segment. And now, before we move on to the next question, I have like a personal question. Because you guys only played 5 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like playing football in a COVID season? I know you're only a freshman, so you don't know what it's like to play a normal season.
Yeah.
So how was it playing those 5 games?
It was weird.
Yeah.
Definitely. At the start, we started our season in January or early February. We started practicing, and it was cold.
Exactly.
It was so cold. Our first couple practices, we were like pushing snow out of the way and stuff, and there's snow piled up, and so it was cold. It was different. And then playing games where it was getting lighter as the game goes on. Normally, or as the season goes on. Normally, now it starts to get darker. So it was weird. Couldn't be in the locker room at the same time as the defense because the contact tracing. So if we had practice at 5, we'd go in and get dressed at 4:15. Then defense would come in at 4:30. So it was just like trying to stay away from people and stuff. Like we couldn't have team like bonding events and stuff like we would in fall camp. And we weren't really we would go to dinner and stuff, but we were supposed to stay in our little circle. So that's what we try to compare last year to this year, like in our grade and stuff. And it's like you almost got to take last year and scrap it.
Yeah.
Not for like it's a bad thing, but everything's different again. We're going back to normal fall camp and getting to do those kind of fun things and stuff like that. So
exactly.
It was different.
That's awesome. I always just wondered what it was like during COVID days and stuff. All right. A couple more questions and we'll move on to the last segment, and then we'll get you out of here. So, what motivates you to do your sport?
Winning. I'm an extremely competitive person. If you play sports, you kind of have to be.
Yeah.
But winning at everything is always a goal. I'm a big believer in everything's a competition, whether it's football or rec basketball or we're playing ping pong in the lounge. I'm trying to win everything. I think that's what sets people apart from people is competitiveness. There's a speech that I like. It's the difference between working hard and competing. If I were your coach, I could force you to work hard. People work hard every day. If I told you to go run 10 suicides as your coach, you'd do it. But if I put 3 other people on the same line and you all run 10 suicides, would you run them differently?
Right.
I can force you to run. I can't force you to to compete. And so I think that's a big thing in life is competition and having that competitive mindset. And I think that's really what separates a lot of people in sports and in life, in the business world, sales, stuff like that. So that's what I love about football and sports in general my whole life.
Michael, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a younger sister.
So you have a younger sister?
Yeah.
So I was saying, if you had like someone who was like your age, you guys would always compete a lot.
Oh,
and
100%.
You always find that in families. I feel like whenever you have someone who's a really good athlete and they have a brother and sister, they always want to win.
Yep.
And hey, you always want to win when you're in a family.
Yeah. My two best friends back home, we would all the time play at my buddy Brendan's house, 1v1v1 basketball, 21, and it got rough sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, that's how it should be. That's how you get better. Yeah. And so those are like stuff you miss coming to college and stuff like that. But yeah, growing up a competitive lifestyle, it's pretty cool.
And I like what you said about you have to win in life as well. Like when you go to get your first job, you have to look presentable. You want to win that spot, and just like a quarterback, you have to win your starting spot. You have to win a spot, and let's say you have 5 people trying to get in this one business, and they only take 1. You have to do the best thing you can to get that spot.
Separate yourself.
Exactly. So with that being said, what you have 2. I mean, I know you haven't completed your sophomore season yet, but what is your favorite sports memory here at Heidelberg? What is just like something that you will never forget for these season and not even a half?
Something I'll never forget was, we've talked about it a couple times already, but probably so far beating Ohio Northern.
Okay.
Last year we were both, like I've said, we were both 3-0, and Ohio Northern was actually one of those schools that I wanted to go to.
Okay.
And it ended up didn't working out and stuff like that, and they didn't. I thought they had more interest in me than apparently they did. So you kind of circle them on the calendar every year,
right?
As that competitive mindset, like I'm going to show you why.
Exactly.
Show you why you should have recruited me and stuff like that. So I always have them circled, and the first time I got to play them, obviously it was. I felt like we were really well prepared to play them, and ended up winning, and it was a good feeling to beat them.
Awesome. Alrighty, with that, we are going to move on to the Soda Pops segment. Shout out to Chad Kresser and Soda Pops in downtown Sandusky for allowing us to try their products for the show. I'll put a link somewhere above so you guys can check it out. But today, we are not trying anything unless there's gum inside these. Today, we're going to be opening these 1991 Bowman football picture card packs. Soda Pops has a bunch of weird stuff besides candy. They have football cards, they have posters, they have a lot of knickknacks, a lot of old knickknacks. I'm gonna give Drew this pack. I'm gonna open up this pack, and we're gonna see if there's any good cards in here. We'll go one card at a time, and I think there's gum in here. So if there is, we'll have to try it. Maybe there's not. Nope, maybe not. All right, well we'll go one at a time. Let's see. I'll flash. Maybe I'll get a Minnesota Vikings player here.
Hopefully.
All right, 1991. I'll flip them as we go. Here we go. Just give this a nice little shuffle. All right, so we'll see who gets the best card. We'll play that.
Deal.
Whoever gets the best card wins. All right, so I got Wilbur Marshall. Don't know who that is. Sorry.
Yeah. My first one, I got Carl Banks from Michigan State. Had 51 tackles last year. I don't know who Carl Banks is.
I got Walter Reeves. Looks like he's a good. This is Phoenix Cardinals. All right, that's out of my time.
Yeah. I got Cortez Kennedy from Miami. Had 48 tackles last year. Don't know him.
Eddie Anderson. Probably a scrub.
I got Rick Donnelly from Wyoming. He's a punter. I'll see his stat. He 40 yards a punt last year. Attaboy, Rick.
All right, let's see. Kent Hall from the Buffalo Bills. I'm not seeing anything good about him. From Mississippi State. All right. I'm not seeing any promising cards here.
Carl Mecklenburg from Minnesota. Had
There we go.
Had 116 tackles. He's a Denver Bronco.
Hey, Minnesota Vikings cards. You need to save those ones. All right.
Oh, he's Denver. He went to Minnesota.
New York Giants player, Stephen Baker. Still have no... I feel like there's no good names here yet.
Leroy Horde. He went to Michigan. Played for the Browns. I bet you my dad's probably going to know all these people. He's sports nut like I am.
Don't even know how to say this guy's name. Lawrence Dawsey. Don't know him. Oh,
I got
a good one here.
Road to the Super Bowl divisional playoff card. Little oddball here. We got the Bengals and the Raiders. Raiders beat the Bengals 20-10. We got Bo Jackson on the front.
There we go. That might be the winner.
We got one so far.
Yo, I have Clay Matthews, but the non-Packers edition. So I have a Cleveland Browns Clay Matthews. This is definitely not his dad. Or maybe, I don't know.
It's probably his dad or his uncle.
Yeah, maybe they're related. That's
have
not
to be related.
That's not a winner. I do have a winner in this pack, though. I will tell you that. I see one.
I got James Brooks, running back from Auburn. Had a 1,000-yard season last year. And boy.
I'm gonna skip to my best card here. I don't know if you see one in your pack that's really good, but I'm gonna skip right to the one I think is really good. I have a Randall Cunningham.
That's a good one.
Card.
Nope.
QB. Give us a Drew. You know he knows about Randall Cunningham. Fat, quick guy. He actually did play for Minnesota, so this is definitely
Rob Thomas.
It's probably a good card to keep. You know, I'll put that right there. I'll put that aside.
Here's a Viking, Rich Gannon, quarterback from Delaware.
Hey.
Oh, I might have you run for your money here on the famous card. Michael Irvin.
Oh, okay.
Cowboys receiver from Miami, Florida.
All right, so we have the two winners of the day. Michael Irvin, Randall Cunningham.
Two good players.
Probably will make like 2 cents off these cards. But it was fun opening up. Don't want to eat anything today. Because no one... still have that Carolina Reaper. And don't know who I'm going to eat it with. I really don't know if I'm going to eat it at all.
But spicy.
But all right, there we go. There's the winners of the day. All right, and now a couple more questions, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right. So, you were a freshman last year, and it would have been funny that I asked you this in the summer, but you had already got done with your season. It would have been funny if I would have asked you this last year. Do you have any advice for the freshmen, and what is that?
Any advice for the freshmen would probably just be go to class. That's a big thing your freshman year is a lot of professors, if you go to class and do your stuff, you go to class and just do your homework, you're going to pass with probably a B or an A.
Right.
Your freshman year, just got to show effort. It's just kind of like high school. Your GPA sets off your freshman year, and that's the most important year, and it's hard to change it the older you get. So I would definitely say go to class and do your homework, and then from like an athletic standpoint, just find something to stand out. Get the coach's attention, whether you're on scout kickoff and you run down and they notice you're avoiding the line and taking on blockers, and you're on scout team, or you're just making throws in JV games and stuff, running the ball hard. Just you got to do something to. And I know we talked about finding your niche, and it's kind of the same thing. You got to do something to stand out. You can't just be another player, because there's a lot of kids on our roster, and I'm assuming there's a lot of kids on the cross-country team that they just go out and run. It's like, okay, running was cool, but they didn't do anything to separate themselves. And so that would be advice from academically and athletically that I would have. I think
you hit that spot on. That is perfect. That's exactly what I would say. There are people like that throughout every single sport, so you hit that really well. Now, we have the main questions aside. I have a little side questions for you, just about football in general, because I'm very interested in football. So when you come out in Perrysburg, you're starting quarterback, what is the feeling? What is like the feeling you get from Heidelberg that's different than Perrysburg when you step out on the field? You get nervous more when you're in college, or how does it work?
I think I do. The college game's different. It's a lot faster. Those first snaps I took last year, like you do it in practice, it's fine, but then obviously you get to game speed, and it's like, whoa. Yeah. We are not in high school anymore. So game speed's definitely one of them. And then that you're surrounded yourself with district and all-state players yourself. In high school, when you're a great player, and you have other great players, but some kids play football because it's a hobby and stuff like that, and they end up not choosing to play in college and stuff. But here, kids, especially at Division III level, you're here because you want to be here. Yeah. Like you're not getting paid nothing. No. We get a free T-shirt pretty much to be here. So you gotta just love the sport, and you're surrounded by on offense 10 other dudes that just love playing football. So just knowing that you're out there with those type of guys, and you're out there with great athletes like Maceo, Meach, Reed, Tay, and all those guys that to a certain point, if I mess up, sometimes they make a great catch and make me look good, or to a certain point I throw a 5-yard out route and they take it 75 yards. Like it's just like it's different. It's a faster game. Kids are definitely more into it in college because you have to be. Yeah, you wouldn't be here. So yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about that.
And a couple other questions. So my other question is, there are obviously a lot of types of quarterbacks. What type of quarterback are you?
I would be considered a pocket passer.
Okay.
I don't run the ball
Okay.
very much or at all.
Have you ran the ball at all? Yet? Have you ever?
I did once against Ohio Northern, and I got back to the line of scrimmage. But I haven't done it much. I actually have negative career rushing yards.
Okay, well,
I did in high school, and I do so far in college because obviously sacks take away from my rushing yards. And I'm a big try and buy as much time and see if I can pull a defender up and then drop it over the top and stuff. And they're trying to get me to scramble more, but I will. I mean, if I have to, I will.
Exactly.
I did in high school a little bit, but yeah, it's not really my style. I would not be considered dual threat by any means.
You play with the brains.
Yes.
Okay.
Big play with the brains.
Good. And then my next question is, I'm always intrigued by, people in the NFL who trust the O-line. I mean, it's like you have, you're in college. You said you have all these great players coming after you. You have great defensive players coming after you. How much trust do you have to put in your O-line? I mean, I'm sure you have to love those guys.
Oh yeah, they're all cool. We're all pretty close, and yeah, you gotta have a lot of trust in them. I mean, obviously, if you're a quarterback, that when you're dropping back, you're looking at the rush.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna be a very good quarterback. I mean, you're reading safeties and stuff like that, so your eyes are up at all times, and doing your best to feel pocket movement. And
right.
Obviously, we work drills all the time on pocket movement, but at the end of the day, I'm only as good as the offensive line. I mean, if they don't block them and I don't have time, then we're not going to be a very good offense.
Exactly.
But through 2 games, I've only been sacked 1 time, which was actually my fault. So they've been doing a great job. And, a lot of offensive linemen don't get the credit they deserve, especially at the D3 level. Like I said, they don't get paid to be here, and they come practice every day and go hard and get beat up so I don't have to. And get really no reward other than I shake their hand and tell them I love them. So, they're a huge part of the team. In my opinion, the most important part for just me personally. And
Awesome. I do think that O-linemen get a lot of undeserved credit in high school.
Yep.
People don't understand how amazing they are. And I'm not gonna lie, we didn't have a great high school team, and it wasn't because of our O-line, but our O-line always got trashed for it. And I personally think that O-line is awesome just to watch them and stuff. So it's awesome. Anyway, my last question is a personal question. So recently we go on the field. We've been throwing the football around. You guys see us out there. We always mess around and whatever. We're just trying to be cool. We were thinking about the other day, when you snap. This could be a dumb question, but it's just something I had in my head. When you guys snap the football, obviously you rotate it, get your hands on the stripes or on the whatever seams, whatever you guys. I'm not football term. You get them on there. Do you guys always get your hand on there every single time? Or are there times where you don't have enough time and you just throw it with however you get it in your hand?
Yes.
Do I have a football? I think I have a football here. All right. What I'm saying is, when you snap the ball, and you rotate it, get it right here.
Yep.
Are there times where you get it like this and you just have to throw it?
Yep. So we have different our pass game's different. We have quick game, drop back game, play action game, stuff like that. So drop back game, I have enough time to where I can take a 3-step drop, like step, crossover, step. And that's when you have time to spin, find laces, flip it if you like one side of the ball, stuff like that.
Right.
But our quick game, which is more, slant, fades, quick outs, stuff like that, you don't have time to drop because the linemen are pretty much just they're anticipating you throwing the ball quick, so they're trying to get the defensive lineman's hands down so then we can get it out quick. So it's pretty much it's a clap and it's a catch, and however you grip it.
Just let it go.
However you grip it, you got to let it go. So obviously we practice a lot more finding the laces because that's how you would want to. Sometimes you get lucky and on quick game you catch the ball and you find the laces and it's like, oh, it's pretty cool. And then obviously play action game too. You have time. I mean, you're faking it with the tail back, either backwards or the side, and you have time to spin and find laces. So pretty much quick game's the only time where if you catch the back of the ball, then you better hope your hands are big enough and you can get it out on time and still try and throw a good ball, an accurate ball.
Yeah, I always wondered that. And today we were playing in the rain, and oh my God, it was tough. I could not even put my hands on the ball without it slipping out.
Yeah.
So major respect to you guys playing in any adverse condition, because I mean, I imagine playing in the rain is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's whatever, control the controllables type stuff. But rain games will have 8 to 10 game balls that we'll bring with us. So they're 4 for the first half, 4 for the second half. So if it's raining hard, it's 2 plays, throwing a new ball, drying balls off,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So the ball boys and everyone they do their best to try and keep
Right.
the ball as dry as possible to throw it. But obviously, you always run the ball a little more in the rain and stuff.
Exactly.
It's less hassle. But yeah, playing in the rain, you can't control it.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
it is
Can't
what
control
it
the
is. It is what it is.
Can't control the weather.
Nope.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Drew, for coming on again. It was awesome having you. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. We will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.